What's up, guys? It's a brand new day and it's a brand new tutorial. Welcome back to my channel. I'm the Jerry Dutch, and in today's tutorial, I'll be taking you through how I do my skin toning in Photoshop. Well, a lot of people prefer doing their skin toning in Capture One. Some also prefer just Photoshop, but then I sometimes do it both in Capture One and in Photoshop. My previous tutorial could let you know how I do my skin toning in Capture One. So in today's tutorial is just Photoshop, and we go. So this is a fresh and beautiful model, Naomi Noel. You could check her out on Instagram. I'll leave her link down below so you could check her out. And I've actually apparently done a lot on this. I've done my skin frequency separation, advanced dodge and bend, eyes, and all that. So this is a quick before and after on whatever we did. After, before, and after. Yes. So let's dive right into the order of the day. First off, I create a new adjustment layer. Go to curves, then create a slight S curve to add some color to the image. There's some contrast in there too, don't mind. We just need the color. Yes. So this is too much. Slight S curve. Yeah, I think this is okay. Let's bring down the opacity down to 10. I think I like 10. It's subtle. Everything about me is very subtle, so keeping it subtle and everything will pop out very nicely. So you turn it off, then we go to create a new adjustment layer, go to hue and saturation. But the hue and saturation, I normally play around with the reds and the yellows. Depending on the image you're working on and how saturated the reds and yellows are, you dial in the numbers according to what you want. You see a quick before and after. And so right now I just want everything to just be like the skin, only the skin to be affected by what I did on the hue and saturation. So on the layer mask, which is white, I go to my select option and go to the color range. So Photoshop does a very good job of selecting some parts I want, which is the white part, and the black, which isn't what we are selecting. So let's go with this. But then it's not to perfection, so you hold Alt and click on the layer mask to see where the selection has been done. So let's come back, hold Alt and click on the same thing to come back to the image. So now I want just the thing to affect the max, rather, to affect just the skin. So I hold W, which is the quick selection tool, and I go to the background so that I can do my quick selection very well. I just select the skin part. Yeah, don't mind if it goes overboard. We can deselect them by holding Alt. Deselect the parts we don't like. You could use brush too for this though, but then I like this better. Brush, probably the edges won't be like how I want it. But with this, I think I'm cool with the sharp edges because it's just affecting the skin and not anywhere else. So let's deselect this too. And the lips, we're just affecting the skin, not the lips. And deselect the eye. This also. You need the skin, so the eye part, just the white part of the eye, and we are done. So you go back to your hue and saturation layer mask, and let's hold Alt to bring it back so you can see the selection there. Now I think we didn't do something. This side is deselected, so let's bring that selection back. Yes. So to the layer mask, hold Alt to bring this back. Then we want the white part to just be white, and I can use the brush to paint white on the layer mask. But then for a quicker way, you could hold Shift and F5 and the content to change into white. Press OK, and where I need to be painted white, it's already painted white. You could see no blacks in it. So you hold Control Shift I to invert the selection, which will select the background. and hold Shift F5 for the fill and change that to black. So you could see the background has been painted black, the skin which we need has been painted white. So the effect is just affecting the skin and not the background. Deselect by holding Ctrl D for that deselection. So you could see before and after, it's just affecting the skin and not the background. Okay, so let's go into a new adjustment layer, color balance. I like working around with my color balance too. Like I said, depending on the image, you work around it. So I normally add some yellows into my midtones, a little bit of magenta. Then the highlights, I add blues, magenta, and reds. No, too much red. I think that will be cool. No, just a little bit of red will be cool. Let's go back to the midtones and take off this. Now to the shadows, still blues and cyan and a little bit of greens. However the image looks like, I think I am good with this. So dial down the opacity to 70, right about there, and I am okay. Okay, so down to skin popping. Now we'll go back to, if you should use the brush tool, you want to select the skin. If you use the brush tool, we are on a layer mask, so whatever we do, we'll just be selecting whatever is on the layer mask. So whatever you do, everywhere you go will be white. And then we need hair skin color, so you go back to the background color and select. So for the foreground, I'll select a shadowy part. I think this side is okay for me. Then we'll change by holding X or pressing X for this to change, and select a highlighted part, a more highlighted part. So you could see the highlight is now in the foreground. I'll bring back the shadows, which is now the foreground. Get it? Go back up to the color balance and you pick a gradient map tool. So the gradient map does a good job of moving from the shadows to the highlights, the color you picked on the skin. Now we want everything to just affect the skin. So we have already done the selection on the hue and saturation. So we hold Alt and drag the mask onto the gradient map. So this is what we have. It looks weird, right? Yes. So let's see the magic created here. You change the blending mode to soft light and bam, everything has changed. So I dial down my opacity to, let's say, 30, and I duplicate this gradient map layer by holding Ctrl J and changing the blending mode to color. Now we have this. You group these two, and dial down the opacity. So like I said, everything should be subtle. You might not see it, but it's actually affecting it. Very subtle. Let's bring back our color boost. Now, in my previous tutorial on how I showed you guys to create your own workflow, my workflow, and savings as an action, you could see levels in there. And so with my levels, I normally play around with the blue. But this, you could see there's a whole lot of yellow. So this side, if you pull in this, adds yellows. You pull in this, add some blues. The picture looks too warm, so I'll add some blues to it. 253, no, 252 is okay for me. Let's do before and after. Yes. So I dial it down a little bit to, let's say, 41. Subtlety. Now let's add some black and white. Layer it, tint it, and send it to the white creamy area. Let's bring down the greens and the yellows a little bit. Push up the reds. And change the blending mode to soft light. That's how it looks. Bring down the opacity down to It adds a little bit contrast to the image though, so know how you work around it. I think 7 is okay for me. So go back to the adjustments, photo filter, and choose cyan. The image looks too warm for me, so I'm adding a little bit coldness to it. I normally don't like the blues because it looks kind of off to me, so I like the cyan, the orange and teal part, and change the opacity down to, I think, 20 is okay. This takes out a lot of reds from the image. Get it? So 15 is cool for me. Now, this is what I do in my skin toning layer, and I think the saturation is too high, so I normally bring down the saturation, everything down, so to the master -10, and I'm cool with this. So hold shift, click on the last layer and group them, and skin toner. Let's name the skin toner. So this is all I do in my skin toning. Too much color, less color, and everything is perfect. So thanks for watching this. If you like whatever I did, give me a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, subscribe and hit that notification button to get notifications on whenever I update my YouTube channel with new videos. Thank you guys for watching, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks. Bye.